More innovations and a partnership from Austere. That's our Techstination. I'm Fred Fishkin. With us from Austere is founder and CEO Deena Ghazarian. Great to see you again, Deena.
Nice to see you, Fred.
Well, you've continued to grow your brand of high-quality home theater accessories. You have a new partnership with a familiar name, Victrola. Tell us about it.
Well, first of all, we are thrilled to be partnering with Victrola as a premium accessory provider. We want to make sure that the hardware that people are bringing into their home theater system performs at the highest level as it's intended. Victrola, as we all know, is one of the, I would say, legacy names out there when it comes to outstanding audio on our record player. And so we are partnering with them to promote the necessary needs of surge protection and filtration that helps their record players sound outstanding, so we don't have any of the digital noise and or dirty power that's out there on the grid interfering with the sound that is coming from those stunning records on their record players. So that is a big push for us. We just kicked off our partnership and the goods are selling immediately, which is super exciting to see. And then for the old school, I would say record player, audio files that want audio interconnects, we're also having our audio interconnects as an availability in the partnership as well. So between power and our audio interconnects, we are helping provide a full solution when it comes to the Victrola record players.
And lots of people have sort of rediscovered vinyl and love it.
Not only love it, I would say rediscovered from maybe a little bit of an older generation, but my daughter is Gen Z, and I will say she is obsessed. So not only does she have her Victrola record player in her room playing at all times, she's discovering all of the new artists. So for her, Taylor Swift is a biggie, like it is for every other, I think, C generation child out there. But Olivia Rodrigo and her new album's coming out, and all she wants it is on an LP. She does not want it digitally. She wants to be able to play it on her Victrola record player. She bought the Best of Queen, you name it. This is how they are discovering music. And I love it. It just makes my heart explode with the excitement around audio in the younger generation, and that they're doing it the way that I first learned how to listen to music too. So it's very exciting to see.
Wonderful. Well, you mentioned some, I think, but some new products, including the cables and outlets that can be used here. Tell us more about them, a little more detail.
Yes, absolutely. So this year we launched what we're calling our 4-outlet power, which is more of a wall type unit that allows you to obviously have the same great joules and surge protection levels out there at a 2,500, 3,000, and 3,500 level, which is outstanding in comparison to most in the industry, as well as a different type of filtration, 1, 2, and 3 of different levels that, again, helps with that digital noise and dirty power that's on the line, but in a very sleek design where most of these types of products, the outlets are on the front. And so when you plug in whatever hardware device you're plugging into, and if an outlet is on the front, it sticks out at least 2 to 3 inches because of the plug and the unit itself, where our units, the plugs are on the side. So you actually can get super flush in regards to the wall when it comes to a TV, if you've got the power right behind it, as well as up against a nightstand or any kind of like furniture device, you can get really flush with no more than an inch from the wall because of it. So we're very excited about that. Again, Austere leveraging our skill set, which is looking at design as we're innovating product to have a much better functionality as well as performance, and the customers responding with sales and loving our products. So we're very excited about that.
That attention to design, Deena, is, I think, pretty unique in the market for these kinds of devices. That you're paying attention to how this is going to look, not just in the package, but in the home.
Correct. I am a big believer that if you truly are into everything about you and your style, that extends into your home, and you're going to want something not only that looks fantastic, which again, we go to great lengths to make sure that the materials that we use and the design itself is stunning. But more importantly, we are leveraging design for better functionality. So the customer finds that ease of use as well through design. Just they go, wow, right? This is absolutely more than they would expect from a brand. And you're right, we are the only brand out there who's really thinking about that and leveraging that in our creation of new product. And I'm proud to say, I think we're kind of not only innovating, but really putting pressure on the industry in the accessory space to look at it in the same way that we are, which ultimately serves the customer, and it allows them to have a better use case for whatever it is they're purchasing on the accessory side.
And you're paying attention to that and the functionality with the cables that you sell as well.
Oh, absolutely. So our cables are some of the thinnest in regards to the actual cable itself because of the way that we have innovated with a stranded oxygen-free copper and silver-coated cable on the inside, as well as the thin Kevlar kind of fabric-like material, but that is pretty much indestructible on the outside. It gives you that flexibility to be able to run the cable yourself, keep it in a tight space, wrap around any excess, so you don't have what I call the curve, which is in a much thicker, I would say, ubiquitous looking plastic jacketed cable. It tends to not have that flexibility and sometimes will stick out in regards to the back of the unit when you're trying to position it. So we do this across every item we make. I really believe in elevating whatever is in the market. If we're going to come out with something, if we don't elevate and change the game in regards to either design, functionality, and or both, we won't move forward with that category or that product. We are really trying to be intentional about that for the betterment of the customer and the category.
Brilliant. Now, you mentioned jewels before, and some people may scratch their heads at the term. Tell us more about the meaning of that and what people should know when it comes to surge protection.
Absolutely. So most people understand that they need a surge protector, but to your point, they don't understand the technology behind it. Not only for the initial purchase of it, but honestly, the lifetime of whatever that unit is that you're purchasing. So the way that we actually not only talk to the consumer about it, but even the associates on the floor who are selling it is jewels. You basically want as many jewels as you possibly can have in an initial unit purchase of what you're buying. If you look at the space itself, the white strip, which most people are used to, if it has any kind of surge protection in it, you'll be lucky to have 500 jewels in it, which may last you about a year from all those small brownouts, blackouts, et cetera, that would happen with those little surge effects before that unit basically is done with its surge protection, because those metal oxide varistors that are inside the unit, the more that you have in there, the longer the unit will last. The longer the unit lasts, the more surges and spikes that it can take in regards to the lifetime of the unit. So our units start no less than 2,500 joules, and they work their way up all the way to 4,000 joules type of thing. So you've got our 3 series, our 5 series, and our 7 series. 3 series is at 2,500 joules. 5 series is at 3,000 joules, and our 7 series, depending on if it's the 4 outlet or the 6 and the 8, the 4 outlet is at 3,500 and the 6 and the 8 are at 4,000. If you look at any other product in the market, so what I would call more of the innovative technology side of other brands, etc., most of their jewels, because they haven't innovated in a while, cap out around 2,500. That's where we start. And these are those units that if you look at most chassis power products that are out there that cost $600, $800, $1,000, their level of joules is around that 2,500 mark, where our strips that start at $149 and go to $229 are really taking you to that level. So that's number one. Number two, the other thing that we like to actually talk about in regards to jewels is if you think about jewels, it's kind of like money in a bank account. And with all of those surges that you're getting, you're basically withdrawing those jewel dollars out from that account until you run out. And then once you run out, you actually need to make sure that you replace the device. Most of the time, 90% of the time, the consumer does not know that, nor does the associate who's selling the product know that. So we have been on a campaign since we actually created the brand to make sure that not only do you know that what Surge does, what jewels do within that process, but more importantly, when it is time and it does run out, right, it is time to replace that. So we like to, we tease with our 7 years stuff. 7 years, 7-year rule. Once you've had that product for 7 years, it's really time to end the relationship with that unit and step up and get a new one. If you think about it, if you were really looking at, let's say, the customer who thinks, oh, a little white strip is good enough, you would need 7 to 8 of those to last the same amount of time you would for our 7 series, because you would constantly have to be replacing it. So we want to make sure that when you make the purchase, you make it for the longest capable time that you can. You make that purchase once, and you're not only doing a better experience for the consumer, but you're also kind of saving the environment, because if you were truly looking for surge protection, you would constantly have to replace that device every single year in the same amount of time where you could buy one of our units. So that's kind of number one. Number two, with that surge protection, we actually have a light indicator that allows you to know when you are out. So we also train on insisting that there is a light there and available, so you know when you actually run out of jewels. Some products have that light, some products don't. Every one of our units have that light indicator to let you know. We also suggest that if you actually register your product with us, knowing the time frame of when the jewels will run out, we will actually also send you a note to let you know time is drawing near, please go check your light, and be aware that it's time to upgrade your unit. So we're trying to do our best to educate and make sure everyone understands. And I say it's kind of like a mattress, right? The mattress will always be there. The mattress will always serve a purpose, but it won't be in the best condition to do what it needs to do. And it's the same thing with the surge protector. When you lose all those jewels, that surge protector becomes a glorified extension cord. It'll still give you power. It just won't be protecting you in the process once you run out of that surge protection.
And when you talk about sustainability and the environment, not only are you able to keep this surge protector for longer, but the electronics that are connected to it, you're going to save those, hopefully, from winding up in the landfill too, right?
Agreed. So here's the other thing I like to say, and it's a good analogy I think most people really understand. So everybody has a phone, and usually within that first year of your phone does great when it comes to battery life. But after that first year, it starts to dramatically cut down, right? And everybody wonders why. I think in most cases, they think maybe the manufacturers of the phones themselves are doing software tricks to get you to upgrade. It's actually not true. What's happening is there is what I call a digital rust going on the silicon chip that's inside of the device. When you are not offering surge protection and you don't have filtration, which we also have on our devices, that keeps that dirty power and that digital noise off the chip, which is what happens when you charge a device through one of our products, you actually extend the life of the product. It operates, it performs the way it's supposed to. If you don't have some sort of surge protection with filtration in the middle of that, it will actually erode that chip. By the way, most of us see it live when it happens with the phone. Same exact thing is happening to your OLED TV that you've just spent quite a bit of money on, your receiver, God forbid you're a Victrola, Sonos oriented record player, right? Your JBL sound bar, the new that $1,300, $1,600 soundbar, all of those things have these silicon chips that if they're not protected with surge infiltration, it will erode that hardware device too. So not only will it not perform the way it's supposed to, it'll actually cut off the life of those hardware. So to your point, it'll go in the landfill much sooner than it should. And so we want to make sure that we're out there communicating that you want to protect your valuable investments and make sure that they stay working at the professional level that it's supposed to for the longest period of time. So it's a really big deal to have that in your system. Power is super critical.
Great explanations, Deena. Where can people find you?
Yeah, so multiple places. You can go to austere.com. You can find us on Amazon. You can find all of these fabulous power products that I just mentioned at Best Buy, at Crutchfield, at PC Richard & Son, at Curaçao, or honestly, our partners such as Victrola or even JBL or Harman Audio.com, you can go to their website and we are their official accessory partner. You can buy it when you buy the hardware on their site as well.
Terrific. Again, austere.com for more info. Deena Ghazarian, thank you for spending time with us.
You are so welcome, Fred. I always love being on your show.